You know Masai for a very long time. If Masai came to you this summer, and I'm sure you guys will cross paths, and maybe you guys already have already.
Vegas, probably,
yeah, Vegas, right? He comes up to you and he's like, David, listen, my team won 25 games last year. We didn't have a top pick in this year's draft. Where do I go from here? Where do I go from here with my roster? And he asks you for 3 steps to get the Raptors back to, let's say, playoff contention in an Eastern Conference that, even though it doesn't have maybe like super high quality teams outside of Boston, but like, well, I don't even want to dismiss other teams, but there's a lot of really good teams in the East that the Raptors would have to jump to get to, let's say, a top 6 level. Masai comes to you and he's like, David, what do I do with my roster? What's your answer?
Man, it's pop quizzes. So I guess I got a couple.
Okay, all right.
Obviously, I'm in the player development business, so you've got to get Grady Dick on the right track defensively. Get him to understand his role the way Ben Shepherd did for the Pacers. Grady probably has more talent. They play similarly. I think Grady plays hard.
He plays hard for sure.
I liked him. You got to get him up to speed defensively. It's going to take a while. Mm-hmm. And I think they need to find a different 5. I don't think anyone thinks he's the answer for what's going on there. They're about to pay quickly, I think. Is that right?
Yep.
Isn't he up for? So
yep.
Yeah, I like him. I don't love him. People have comparing. I mentioned Nembhard a few times on this podcast. I know you guys know he's Canadian, all of that. He's going to get paid by somebody. It's going to be Indiana, and he's an amazing partner to Tyrese. But a team like Toronto going after someone like that's got one more year on the $2 million, whatever, you'll rip up his 4th year, which is a team option.
Yeah,
I think he's going to be much better than Quickly, and so I wouldn't be so quick to pay Quickly without checking around to see what else we can do. Although I like him fine.
Yeah.
This RJ is exciting. So that's another thing I would talk about is NBA players are challenged when they fail and they're challenged when they succeed. You don't want them to lose their confidence when they fail, and they do all the time. And you don't want them to get complacent, casual, arrogant when they're succeeding. Mm-hmm. And I think RJ, to partner with Scottie, has got to recognize Scottie's probably a more talented player than me. I think he is.
Yeah.
I can be a very good Jaylen Brown type. That is a big reach for RJ, but he's young. We shouldn't be afraid of that.
Yeah.
But we got to make sure we challenge RJ to recognize what we did for a terrible team that wasn't trying to win is not the same thing as producing when we need you to win because we're trying to win games. And so let's stay humble. Let's stay focused. I think he's probably playing for Team Canada this summer, which could be a great thing.
Yeah, his dad's the GM. He has no choice.
Yeah, right. That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah. So that could be a real growth opportunity for them.
Right.
But the other thing, I say this all the time when I do Zach Lowe's podcast every few years on the MIP vote.
Yep.
The guys who I always pick are the ones that were great and became elite. Mm-hmm. And so Scottie Barnes is great. The hardest jump is to get to the elite level. It's super hard to do. And most guys don't do it. They kind of have a ceiling. They've got to really coach up Scottie on how do we get to all NBA level play, because that is a game changer. And he's the only guy on that roster that probably has that kind of upside. I don't think RJ does. They probably do. I don't think his quickness is the same. He's not as explosive as an athlete. He still can be a very good player, and even maybe an all-star. Like I don't think that's out of the possibility for him.
No.
I don't think. But Scottie can be an all-NBA level player, MVP type of player. Giannis light, but he shoots threes. Giannis doesn't. So how do you get that? And then I guess one last thing I would say is I didn't really watch the Raptors once they clearly became not relevant to the team, to the season. But I would visit with Darko on what we can do strategically based on the roster we have. How can we play differently? I don't even know what they did. But I'm sure there's a better way to play given the roster that they have. Let's play that way. And I would lean towards playing fast. I think Scottie is a quick decision maker. Quickly, he's very fast. I don't know about his decision making. That's something I've got to see more. But I just think it's the better way to play.
Okay. There you go. Well, I hope you come across Masai, and I hope he asks you the same question. Otherwise,
he will not.
Okay,
Not gonna happen.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll see Masai at the draft, and I'll tell him.
You can ask him.
Yeah, there you go. I'll ask him. I think that's a fair question as in a press conference. How do you get your team good again? That's like the number one question that a GM should have to answer.